Welcome back to the Hurry Up Offense Fantasy Football News and Advice in around 10 minutes. Oh, it feels good to be back for week one. We're here. I am Smokey Rameriz, your fantasy football pro. Let's go. Today's topic is all about week one because we are heading into week one and it is not time to get cute. It is not time to do any crazy, ridiculous moves to try to get ahead because we are all on an even playing field right now and you need to stick to the core values of fantasy football. Play your superstars. Don't overthink it. Play your superstars. Play your proven commodities. That's it. But first, let's get into the news. For the first time of the 2022 season, here it is. Oh, the Wednesday night news dump. Here we are. Have you heard about this that's going on with the Giants right now? Apparently, Darius Slayton has taken a pay cut to remain on the team and play at wide receiver, but also Sterling Shepard is back from injury, so this really muddies the water because not only do we have Sterling Shepard, not only do we have Darius Slayton, we still have Kenny Golladay. We still have Kadarius Toney, who was on a breakout trajectory last season. Excuse me. And now we have Wan'Dale Robinson, the Kentucky product to go along with the Florida product. They're stacking some SEC guys in there to go along with the veterans that they have. But this really muddies the water. Now, I like this for Daniel Jones because he's going to have a lot of opportunities to throw the ball. But which one is it going to be? I wouldn't play these guys right here at week one. I wouldn't do it. It's tough. Speaking of wide receiver depth, it almost seems like I should be saying, oh, how the mighty have fallen, because down in Tampa Bay, Julio Jones is running with the second team. He's apparently not going to be one of the top three wide receivers, but did we really expect that with Julio's age and conditioning? Probably this is just where he needs to be. Mike Evans is a younger version of Julio, the big, dominant, physical, outside receiver that can handle the contested balls and things like that. We don't necessarily need Julio out there unless if they're going to transfer him over to tight end or something like that. I don't see him making a lot of difference, except for the difference he's going to make for Tom Brady because it's just another option for him to throw to. But you don't necessarily need to be playing him in week one until we find out if this is actually the workload they're going to give him. Got it? Down in Saints camp, Michael Thomas is prepared to play for week one. He wants to play. He says that he will be out there, and we have no idea what to expect from Michael Thomas. Now, we want him to come right back on the field, jump in that slot position, and be the big, dominant, physical slot guy that he was when Drew Brees was there. But this is Jameis Winston. How well does Jameis Winston support a guy like Michael Thomas? We don't know because we haven't seen them two play together yet. This is Winston's third season, and they haven't played together yet. Keep that in mind. Anyway, we'll see what's going to happen here. I don't know, unless you are in dire need, maybe in a really deep league or in Dynasty, and you have something wrong with your team and you need Michael Thomas out there, yeah, sure, go ahead and take a chance because there is a huge chance that he will be the number one target, but we have no idea. So, if you can, keep him on the bench. Hey, speaking of iffy number one wide receivers, the new Julio Jones in Atlanta may not be out there for week one. This sucks. I really want to see what Drake London's going to do and see if he can handle that. See what kind of workload he's going to get from Marcus Mariota and possibly Desmond Ridder later on in the season, which we probably will see that combination at some point this season. But for right now, it's Mariota and maybe not Drake London. So definitely play all of your Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is set to go. I would put money on it right now that he is going to be the number one tight end over Kelsey, over Waller, over Andrews in week one. I think this guy is going to get a ton of work. Now, he's going to be covered up because there's not a lot out there to draw coverage with London gone. So I'm hoping London plays and we can figure all of this out, but definitely put money on Pitts. Not telling you to bet on him. I'm just saying figuratively. Put money on Pitts. More wide receivers news out of the Steelers camp. Now, this is pretty interesting because Diontae Johnson might not be ready to go for week 1. And if he is not ready, this is all systems go for George Pickens. Now, a lot of people may not be completely familiar with George Pickens, but he is a #1 dominant physical receiver all throughout his college career. Now, he dealt with injuries and things like that, and maybe even had to sit out for throwing hands or something like that. We're not going to talk about it, but George Pickens is absolutely a beast at wide receiver. Probably the best product to come through Georgia since A.J. Green, and we know how that turned out. He was completely productive in the NFL for your fantasy team. George Pickens is even better. In my opinion, this is IMO, homie. I would throw George Pickens out there week 1 on your team if Diontae Johnson is not playing. And there's also a good chance that even if he does play, Pickens is going to be wonderful. But it's still up in the air because this is Mitchell Trubisky we're talking about. Keep that in mind. A little bit of news out of 49ers camp. Now, this is going to affect Trey Lance, but it's about George Kittle. Now, George Kittle would be the #1 target in that offense. We also have Debo and Brandon Ayuk. I expect a rebound for Brandon Ayuk, but George Kittle is dealing with a groin injury. That is usually a safety blanket for a brand new quarterback, or second-year quarterback in this case, but it is going to be his first season taking over that starting position, and he needs a guy like George Kittle, who is a proven tight end superstar in the NFL. This would be great for Trey Lance, but unfortunately, it hurts because he's probably not going to be out there. We don't know for sure just yet, so you better keep checking back, but as of Wednesday night, it doesn't look good. But I still trust in Trey Lance and Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. I really like Brandon Ayuk this year. But I'm hoping Kittle can get out there too, because all 4 of these assets on that team, even Elijah Mitchell, could have wonderful, wonderful league-winning fantasy football seasons for you if they are all healthy. Keep an eye on it. Miles Sanders is looking like he's healthy. Now, I threw that just for the comedic effect because I had a running joke about Miles Sanders for 2 seasons at this time, but I would like to point out that is going to be a difficult backfield situation there, and I'm not so sure about Miles Sanders this year as I was in the past. I do expect that to be a dynamic offense and a lot of running in this offense. Jalen Hurts is probably going to do as much of the running as the running backs would. Miles Sanders is still a great physical specimen. He's still a great running back, regardless of how he ends up being used in this offense. But it is so up in the air that it is scary to throw him out there week 1. So I would put him on the bench, and let's hope that Miles Sanders returns to prominence this season. Back to the Bucs real quick. Chris Godwin is back at practicing in full. So there you have it. Tom Brady's got a full list of weapons, just like he always does. He's always set up to succeed, so play those guys. I would put most of my money on Mike Evans at this point in time, though, to tell you the truth, because the wide receivers are going to be taking all of the targets. There's not going to be much Cameron Braid out there. Tight ends are not going to see much of anything in this offense. It's going to be those 3 to 4 wide receivers. Wow, they're going to have a great season as long as Brady hasn't fallen off of the old proverbial cliff that every quarterback seems to do when they get old, even though he's probably 5 to 6 years past where every other quarterback does it. Last thing I want to talk about is J.K. Dobbins. He is going to miss some time. Whoa, hold on just a second. I just read this wrong. This headline says Dobbins limited QB points to missed time? Question mark. Now I'm going to read this verbatim right here. Ravens running back J.K. Dobbins' knee put in a limited practice on Wednesday. The team has yet to say whether he will play in the opener, so that kind of clears that up, right? No, it doesn't, but there you go. QB Lamar Jackson told reporters that after the practice, he'll hopefully be out in a couple weeks. That comment came after Jackson said he wanted Dobbins to slow down with his work to return. We certainly won't take this as an official status report, but the QB's words point to Dobbins likely missing at least one game. Is Kenyon Drake going to be useful this week? Is Mike Davis going to be useful this week? It's going to be one of those two guys, right? Remember last season when they had the old picked up off the waiver wire veteran running back merry-go-round roulette that they had going on there? Well, we might see some more of that until J.K. Dobbins can finally, did I say Dobbins? Dobbins can finally get back in the lineup and put in some productive work and be the elite running back that he came into the league to be, because he is also a great running back. I mean, aren't they all of the Ohio State running backs that were number ones? I'm not talking about Master Teague over in Pittsburgh. I'm talking about J.K. Dobbins. I'm talking about Ezekiel Elliott. I'll take back the old Oklahoma transfer that went to Ohio State and went out to the 49ers, because he is no longer on the 49ers. That guy fizzled out so quick. I won't even bring his name up. But anyway, you know who I'm talking about. But maybe it was because he was an Oklahoma product and not an Ohio State product. Well, either way, that's it for this week for the news. Not much on game theory, except for, like I said in the beginning, this is week 1. You do not get crazy. You do not get loopy. You do what you know to do in week 1. That's how we play this game of fantasy football. Don't get crazy. It's week 1. Play your superstars. Play your proven commodities. That's it. That's the big secret for this week. Now, I will have more secrets and things to reveal for you to win your fantasy football season in the coming weeks. Please give this video a like and subscribe to the Beyond Football channel. And if you want to check me out on other things, say like talking about music or something, you can go over to the Trash Talkers YouTube channel. I will be there every single day and sometimes multiple times a day for your entertainment, along with Hollywood. Well, I am Smokey Rameriz, your fantasy football pro. Week 1. Let's do it. That's it. Deuces.